Hey, Backwoods Modeler here. Welcome to my workshop. Well, hey y'all. Backwoods Modeler here. Welcome to my workshop. Today's a twofer day. It's Memorial Day. Thanks again to anybody who's watching. If you've served or if you got a family member serving, thank them for me and you both, because if it wasn't for our service members, none of us would be here the way we are. So, that being said, I've already got my Blazer and my truck torn apart, and they are painted and with the base coat, and they are drying. Next step, well, actually not next step. I wanted to show you, if you haven't noticed this before, I use these little condiment cups you could get from restaurants to put all my parts in, and I just labeled it. That one's got a B on it. The other one's got a T. And I just got both my chassis sitting there. I still got to find wheels and tires for them because I really don't want to use these chrome ones. These stock wheels on the Blazer, those are not a big deal. I can paint those. But the other ones, I kind of like those wheels and tires, so I don't really want to paint those unless I have to. So we'll see what we find out. So, set those back out of the way. This video is going to be about building us a dump truck. I bought these two trucks. I planned on merging them, and when I bought them, I just haven't gotten around to it yet. So today is going to be the day. So what we have to do, or basically what I'm going to do, is we're going to do a cab swap. I'm just going to take the cab off this truck, and I'm going to put it in place of this truck. Now, in order to do that, we have to take it apart. Now, Greenlight put screws in the back to hold down their beds, but you can see right in front of that, there's still a rivet there. Well, you probably can't see it. Get me a pointer here. We got the screw there, and right in front of there's a rivet. Then we got a rivet up here in the front. So we just got to pop those out. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm taking this snowplow off because we're not leaving it on this truck. So, there. Snowplow's off. Now all we got to do is pop these rivets and then take that dually apart. So I'm not going to bore you while I'm drilling rivets and taking this truck apart. Anybody who's done any kind of modification, you've seen on this truck there's just two screws. There's one in the back, one in the front. Pop those out and the whole thing comes apart. We will have to drill out the rivets that hold the bed and the cab together, but that's not a big deal. And then we'll just strip it. So hold tight. I'll be right back. Alright, you can see I got that all apart. We don't need this cab anymore. This is the interior out of this. I need to get me a parts cup. So put the grill or the dash, the screw for the interior. Put that in there. The interior goes in there, the windshield. That's about all that goes in that cup for now. When you're taking these apart, you have to take these toolboxes off the side because, as you can see, when the cab is on there, it doesn't want to go now, but when the cab is on there, the toolboxes help hold the cab in place. So you got to take the toolboxes off to get the cab off. So that's done. Put the toolboxes in with that truck. Keep the screw for the, matter of fact, put the screw for the bed back in now because I don't think there's any reason why we need to mess with that anymore. So, all right, got that on. All right, so now what we got to do is we got to strip this truck. Get the windshield off of it. Get the hood up if we can. Man, that sucker does not want to come up. There. Now we got the hood up. Now we can cut these two tabs off. Actually, I don't really need to pull the engine out, but I'm going to anyway. And then there's a couple of tabs here behind the bumper that holds it in. Snap those off. Okay. Now all we got to do is take our sharp awl and pop it out. Better be careful, it'll go flying across the room. They really glued that one on. Okay, step 2, break out the kniff. There. Now the bumper's off. Now what I normally do, now there's a couple of tabs in there. Actually, I can pop the engine out now. Oh, man, that sucker was glued in there. There. Now the engine's out. And normally when you pop this front off, there's a couple of tabs in here. But you can just take your knife and cut them. And it'll pop right off. So there. Now the grill's off. Everything's off of here that needs to be off. Now we can strip all this crap off here. So let's get some acetone here, and we'll start some stripping. And get my Q-tips. Here's my old can. Probably should use up my old can before I start using a new can. Now this truck is going to take a handful of Q-tips to get all this stuff off of here. So it's not too bad. Start with the white. The white comes off the easiest. And it's just a matter of wiping everything clean, making sure you get everywhere inside the windows, everywhere there's paint on there. Now, some people I've got a question a couple times about saying that acetone messes up the paint. And yes, it will. You can strip this truck with acetone. But the key is to just barely get enough on there to wipe off what you're trying to take off, and you don't want to linger while you're trying to wipe it off. Wipe it off and get out of there, because it will soften the paint and it will do it quickly. So you have to be careful when you're doing this. As you can see, I'm doing it real fast. Now we're going over it with a nice clean one to wipe off all the excess that we didn't get the first couple times. And there, now it's clean. Clean as a whistle. You don't have to mess with anything else. The paint didn't get messed up. As you can see, it's nice and shiny like the rest of it. You just got to take your time. Be careful. Well, actually, don't take your time with this. You got to go quickly. Don't mess around. Like I said, just quick wipes across the roof, inside the window wells, because the paint gets in there too. And then change your Q-tip. Make a couple of wipes. As soon as you see a little bit of paint get on your Q-tip, then you're about done with it. You don't want to spread the paint around. See all that paint that I already got on there? That side's done. You don't want to keep messing with it. All you're going to do is you're going to smear your paint, the decals, tampo, whatever you want to call them. You're going to smear it, and it's going to make it harder to get off. So just wipe up enough to get it off of there. So now all we got to do left is we got a little cleanup to do, and this one's done. Wipe this down the side. Like I said, this is a clean one. This is just taking off any residue that we missed. There you go. Clean as a whistle. Perfect. There's a little bit up here. Let me get a little more on there. I got a little bit on that crease. That's the hardest part. The hardest place to get the paint out of is in the creases around the doors and stuff, because it gets down in there and it doesn't want to come off. See this? See the orange? No, you can't, because I'm not even in view. Can you see the little bit of orange on my toothpick? That's taking the red paint off now. So now it's time to quit. Luckily, we've got everything done. Everything's removed. So we're good to go. Actually, I see a little bit of white there on the inside. Again, see? Just to focus. See, I got a little bit of, it looks orange, but it's actually red. Alright, so got that stripped. Put the acetone away. Okay, that wasn't bad. I only used 5 Q-tips So it wasn't bad at all. The red ones usually come clean pretty good. It's the white ones that do not want to clean up very well. So we'll put these away. All right, now what's it going to take to get this baby to fit on here? Well, obviously we're going to have to cut these fender wheels out. So let's get to cutting those fender wheels off. Before we do that, we need to pull these front wheels off. We're not going to use these front wheels anyway because these are Dodge wheels and we don't want to use our Dodge wheels on our Chevy truck. So those are coming off anyway. So now we're going to cut these fender wells down flush with the inside. We'll probably have to cut, sorry guys, we'll cut the fender wells off, and then we're probably going to have to cut this tab right here off also to get this to set all the way down on there. We're probably going to have to cut these two tabs off the back of the cab because they're not going to want to go underneath like the other one did. So we'll have to cut those down too. And then we'll start trying to put her back together. I'm probably going to go ahead and yank these running boards because I don't like them. Just sucks because this is metal, so this takes a little bit longer to hack on. So give me a few minutes, guys, and I will be right back. Alright, y'all, I got all the hacking done, I think. Let's see if there's any more that needs to be done to get this together. That fits in pretty well. It looks like I'm going to have to trim just a little bit of this front off of here so that it will go down inside of the chassis, or the up in behind the bumper, because we don't want to see that part. So I believe once I get that ground off, I believe we'll be okay. So let's get that hacked off real quick. Alright, so now I got that all hacked off. Now all we have to do is, actually I guess I didn't have to do that, but what are we going to have to hack off to get this to fit? So we look pretty good there, but I'd like to get it down a little bit more. And it looks like in order to get it down a little bit more, I don't know that we actually want to get it down more. If we take it down much more, then this top is going to be awfully high and it's not going to quite look right. I think normally, theoretically, it should be right up in this area, really close. But I don't think we can do that with this cab. So we're going to do this. We're going to put some spacers in there. We're going to check this chassis. It looks like I may have to stretch it a little bit, which would kind of suck. So let me get that figured out. That's an off-camera deal because that's going to take too long to figure out on camera. You guys don't want to sit here while I try to figure that out. I think I'm going to have to cut, so I can get up here to focus, these tabs right here. I'm going to have to cut these off, cut this off, cut this off, and then maybe it'll sit down on there a little bit better. So let me hack them off and we'll see how it fits in. Alright, y'all, so we got a small issue here. Let me show you what we got going on. As you can see, our tire's a little too, doesn't quite fit into the fender well. This thing needs to be slid back a little bit, which means I cannot shorten the cab, so that means we have to lengthen the chassis. So I'm going to have to do some swapping here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this front of this crossover piece here. We're going to cut it right there. That'll be just enough to glue it into the back of my cab. And then I'm probably going to have to use the front of the chassis for the crew cab and glue it on there together to finish this out, because otherwise it's going to be a little too short. So that's just some of the things you got to deal with when you're trying to put these trucks together. You have to figure out what works, what doesn't work, and this chassis is just a little bit too short. So, like I said, we're going to cut it, cut the other one, put them together, and we'll have ourselves a dump truck. So, let's get that going. Okay, so you can see I got her cut. It took a minute. You can see how thick that section is. This is normally what we deal with, but this middle area was pretty thick, so that took a minute to cut through. So now that we got that cut, put our cab back in here. So we got that all set now. So now what we got to do is set this piece up and get it ready to cut. So get these wheels off of here, because we were not going to use these wheels and tires, so we don't want those on there. I'm going to use those for a different project. Might as well go ahead and yank these off too while I'm at it. That's it. Those are going to go on a different project. Now, we got to get most of this set back in there. We're got to get some glue going to try to get all this glued together and get it all set where it needs to be. And then once we start gluing this together, it'll fit better. Get this set, figure out where we're going to cut this at. Okay. Got that side marked. Get this side marked. And that is our mark. Try to follow it through a little bit. Try to get this cut as straight as possible, y'all. There's our mark line. So let's get to cutting. Now I'm going to cut this right past the line just a little bit, because I'd rather have to file some of this off than have to go get another one and cut up another one because I cut it too short. So, and I have my little foam pad over here. As you can see, this thing has been hacked all to heck, which saves my fingers. I mean, you can't see. That's a nice straight cut. Now, drag it across the file a couple times just to knock off any burrs. Okay, that feels pretty good. Couple of burrs underneath. Okay, we're ready to see if this baby's gonna fit. So now we take this and we stick it onto the dump truck, the dump bed, and we take this piece and we slip it in there, and I can tell you now it is way too long. Which again, I'd rather have it too long than too short. For some reason, that was way longer than even I expected it to be. So we're going to have to trim this back a little more. Looks like we're going to have to take another 1/4 inch off of it there, or 1/8 inch off of it there maybe. Okay, so we're going to take off that little scratch mark there. Get my little pad again. This pad helps you keep it, you can't see it. The pad helps you keep it straight and keeps you from messing up your other stuff. One thing with the Dremel, hooey, that baby gets hot fast. Let that cool off a second before we mess with it there. So, not much of a burr on it this time. Let's see if we did better this time. Do we fit now? So the other thing with building these trucks, guys and gals, is a a lot of customization, requires a lot of cutting and hacking. So we're getting better. Still a little bit long, but we're getting better. I think I'm going to drag this across the file a few times, see if I can't get that knocked down, and then I'll come back and we'll start gluing her back together. Alrighty, so we got her all cut, got her all lined up. She's ready to go now. It's got I have to center it as I glue it because it's just a little bit narrow. Not a big deal. Like I said though, everything is set, good to go. Just got to start gluing her back together. Get the toolboxes on there, get some front wheels on there, and this baby's about ready. Other than she's going to need some mirrors. So, alright, so in order to glue this baby back together, it's going to require some shims back here because we want this to be flush and level with the bottom of it. And we're a little bit from touching that back tab right there, but I'm not real worried about that. We'll put a little bit of glue in there to bridge that gap. That'll fix that. And then the toolboxes will hide the glue. So that's what we got to do. Just got to start gluing her back together. Let me start gluing some stuff together and then I'll be back with you. I'm guessing you don't want to see this. Alright y'all, so I've got her glued together. She's sitting here drying. She may look crooked, but I've got her pretty much lined up. I got a pretty good spacing in here between the cab and the bed. Got everything set on there. I had to put a couple of shims underneath of it to get it to set what I think looks level. It's kind of hard to tell without the front wheels on there, but I think it looks alright. So we just got to let this baby dry. Probably going to have to be overnight. And then I'm going to get back with you tomorrow and we'll finish her up. So I'll be back. Don't go nowhere. Alright y'all. It's only been a week that I started working on this damn truck. And it's been a busy week for me, so I haven't been able to get much done. I literally just finished gluing the bumpers on this thing 15-20 minutes ago. I started this truck on Memorial Day. I was planning to post this video on Memorial Day, but things just didn't go as planned. So I've got her done. I got her all put back together. Still got to do some final detail painting underneath. Get rid of cover this axle up, cover up some of that glue, and a little touch up here, and then that'll be done. I got the toolboxes back on. Bed's on. It works like it's supposed to. Like I said, we got the grill and the bumper and everything in there. You know, these hoods on these trucks don't like to open. That's just about as far as it opens. Hopefully when they start popping out a lot of the newer ones, they've got that fixed. They did fix it on one of them, but hopefully they get it fixed on the rest. We'll see. So that is my dump truck build, guys and gals. What do you think of this? I know I need mirrors, but I ran out of mirrors again, so I need to go to Portland Car Lover and get me some more. But that is my Chevy dump truck crew cab build. What do y'all think of that? I think it looks pretty good. So anyway, hope y'all like this truck, like this build. I got more coming up. I'm working on a mini diorama to build for when I sell trucks on eBay. I can post them, or pose them on my little diorama in front of. I have a little house and a little garage. I got an idea. I've been slowly working on it. I'll try to get a video of that going here real soon. And then I've got I have another crew cab dually that I'm working on. I'm going to do a camo paint job on it. It also came with a Blazer that I'm going to do a camo job on it too. So we'll see how those two turn out. It's been a long time since I've done a camo job. So we'll see how those turn out. So anyway, guys, that's all I got for this video for y'all today. Hope you like this. If you do, think about liking, subscribing. Check me out on Instagram. Check out my eBay. All that information will be in the description below. Y'all have a good day now, and don't forget to come back. Bye.